your best seat. This is what I mean by that you must be able to get to everything very quickly. One screw here unscrews, and then the nose just hangs on these. So I can clip off and I can get into the batteries, the main flying batteries, very quickly. This also doubles as the nose weight. So if you want to pass that round, it's quite light really. Now this aircraft has done well over 600 flights in five and a bit years. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong if it's hidden. So we have one hatch here. We can get to all the carburetor linkages. We can get to the ignition, and we can get to the spark plugs. We can also get to the tank by undoing this hatch, and you can get through the hole here, no problem at all. This here is the choke. This is that these aircraft are very big, and they sit out in all the weather, and they get very hot. It doesn't do radio gear any good. So with it being buried down in the floor, it stays cool, so we have less radio problems. It's also, the rain falls on the top of the aeroplane, so by the time it gets to the bottom it's usually dimmed out. This is a second generation large model. My first one was a Catalina, and I built the wing in two halves. One floats on one side and one floats on the other. Now the problem with that is that when we get it to a show or anywhere like that, it's got to be taken completely to pieces if we want to put it in a marquee, because sometimes the tents that they give us to put the models in may only have an 8-foot wide doorway, and we've got a, should I say, a 2 metre wide doorway, 2.5 metre, and we've got a 6 or 6.5 metre aeroplane. So that's why this is the second generation, and with 4 bolts just here we can slide the wing off and then put that in the back. In bits and pieces, which is, I don't know what that be, 45,000 kroner? 450,000. 450,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm no good with money. Which is why I've got holes in my jeans. The turbo batteries had to be backed. So if one battery went down, there was another one running alongside it or take over from it. Now, it's done maybe, I don't know, 800 or 900 flights, and we went to a place in France called Le Fertelet, and they said to me that my aircraft did not meet their regulations, so I couldn't fly. And with Le Fertelet you have to send them a wiring diagram, you have to send them pictures of the aircraft, you have to tell them what's what. So they had all the paperwork. They could see it only had one receiver, long before I got there. So we had a little talk, and they let me fly, but I had to keep very quiet. And the next person who came along had only one receiver in his aeroplane, and he was told to go away. And I think we better not say, but he wasn't French and he wasn't English. So then, when I built this, I built it with 2 receivers, and then it was very difficult to get the ailerons to work, so we thought, well, it's cost this much money, 2 more receivers is going to break the bank. So then when I went, I was working away in my office, and the phone rang, and a voice went, "Hello, this is your French friend." And I thought, it's strange, and it's their boss at their civil aviation authority ringing me up to check how many receivers I had in my aeroplane. And I said I had 4, and he said, why have you got 4? I said, to make up for last year when I only had 1. So, the French are quite strict. When it was first built was a very, very nice finish, but over 5 years of flying it in many different countries, in and out of vans, being knocked about, it's got a little damaged. I want to build a new airplane. I was first known for flying a Booker Jungmeister, so I've always wanted to build another Booker Jungmeister, and Richard said, why don't you build another Booker Jungmeister? We found an Icelandic Booker Jungmeister, which isn't quite a Booker Jungmeister. And all the horrible curves on the front that take a lot of building to get right, straight lines. So you may well see, the next time you see me, I will be flying an Icelandic Booker Jungmeister.